Hey guys, James here, and today I wanted to talk about something I've been thinking about for a while now, and I've been wanting to make a video about it, but a couple days ago I saw something that kind of pushed me over the edge to make this video, and that is this whole Google VO3 AI programming tool, whatever it is. Anyway, um, for those of you who don't know, I'm assuming you guys probably at least seen it. Google made this new software called VO3, and you can basically it's kind of like ChatGPT. You can enter in prompts, and it will generate a video. I think it's like 8 seconds, and it's not long. And the thing that's different is it has dialogue. The AI, I don't want to call them people because they're not. They actually speak. Which I guess I'll get the first thing out of the way. The small pros is that it actually does look kind of good. It's not perfect. There is still that uncanny valley of, whoa, it's not real, but compared to the other, AI stuff, videos that have been released, this one is really convincing. However, there is a part of me that's like, but nobody made that though. Like, there wasn't somebody who actually sat down, got actors together, wrote a scene, scouted locations, did all the stuff you do for videos. None of that happened. It was just made by a computer. And I guess the real question I'm asking is, like, do we as a society, and I mean America, do we even value creativity anymore? Or have we ever? I guess that's also another interesting question. But because it seems more and more, it seems that that's not the case. And like I said before, Google VO3, these videos, they are pretty impressive. Like, if you did not know these were AI before you watched them, you would not think so. They are that good. But again, I can't shake this feeling that, like, nobody made it though. And now some could argue, like, I've seen so many comments, both good and bad, mainly bad about this topic, mainly on Twitter. Like, for one, I see people who are way too happy about this for some weird reason. Like, you see comments that say things like, oh, Hollywood is screwed. We're not going to need actors no more. Artists and all the whatever, actors, everything. They need to get a real job. And it's like, okay, so tell me you're not creative without telling me you're not creative. And also, I don't get this whole, I don't want to call it a trend, but this whole thing of people claiming they're an AI artist, which is just, I'm sorry, but it's just the dumbest thing. Because, like, is that person who enters the prompt an artist? I mean, you can maybe argue they are. I would say no, because, all right, let's look at it this way. And, if you're, a painter, you actually have to sit down, grab the materials, think of something, maybe use a reference, maybe you don't, and you actually paint it. You use brush strokes and everything. But with something like this, you just sit down and you tell someone, and you enter in the prompt, and the AI, Google VO, creates it for you. So you didn't really create anything. You just told something else to create it for you. And in this case, that something else is a program, not a person. Like, how is that any different than, I want to create something, this video, whatever, and I hire, this other dude over here and say, hey, I want to make this video, make it for me. That person makes a video, and then I say, oh, look what I created, I'm an artist. When I myself didn't do anything. I don't see what's the difference between that and AI. I mean, I can't really see anything. And I guess another bigger question would be, like, will, a program like this, will it get good enough to the point where it can make, commercials, which I think that's That's pretty close, to be honest. But more so, could it make a full-length, feature film or a TV show or a documentary? Which I do think eventually it will, but I think we're kind of a couple years out, if I'm being honest. But going back to what I said earlier, like, it's just a computer. Like, nobody actually sat down and thought of it. It just pulled things, it just pulled from all other sources it knew from the internet that we put out there. And there's really no creativity behind it. Because let's just say, I do think, the larger companies will use this, but it will be very bland. Kind of, the corporate, like, you ever see a commercial and you just know, like, it was corporately mandated. Like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You see it. The minute you see one, yep, that was made. We need these checklists. Boom, boom, boom. Put it out there. And those commercials are very different, or I guess anything, video-wise, are very different and distinguishable from what you would call, real works of art. Like, here, I'll give you an example. This may be in the same video, maybe two different videos, but we'll see. I recently watched the film Irreversible. I think it was from 2002, I believe. Maybe 2001, I think 2002. Anyway, Irreversible is a French film by a French filmmaker by the name of Gaspar Noé, I think. It's Noe. I don't know how you pronounce it in the French language. But Gaspar is known for making these very, I don't even call them outrageous, these shocking films. And he puts imagery, scenes and imagery in his films that shocks audiences to thinking, like, oh my god, I can't believe you showed that on camera. Which French, audiences are more accustomed to that. They're not as sensitive as we are. And for them to be creeped out by anyone's art, that's saying something. But, back to Irreversible. Irreversible is a movie that came out, like I say, early 2000s, and it was part of the new French extremity movement, which is basically a wave of French films that pushed the boundaries as to what you could show in movies and what you could do with storytelling. So, what is Irreversible about? Irreversible is a film about, well, first of all, like the name, it's a film that's shot in reverse order. So, when you watch the movie, you actually see, it's kind of Memento by Christopher Nolan. You see the ending first and the aftermath of the plot, and you see the events that led up to said, climax, basically. But, like the title suggests, it's reversed. So you technically see the ending first and the beginning of the movie at the end. And the overall plot of the film is, it's basically centers around three people. The actors are Monica Bellucci, which everyone knows, Goddess of Mankind. Vincent Cassel, who they were married at the time. And I forgot the other dude's name. I can't think of it off the top of my head, even though I just watched it the other day. Anyway, it centers around these three characters. So it's Monica and Vince's character who play a couple, and Monica's ex, in the movie, her ex comes in to the fray, and it's the three of them. They spend a night in France, partying, whatever, and they get separated, and I'm trying to get light spoilers for those who haven't seen it, and something happens to Monica's character, and it's a scene where, if you know, everyone knows it's the scene of the movie. Like I said, if you know, you know. And they show it. It's, like I talked to earlier with Gaspar, they show it. They don't hide anything. And yeah, it is very shocking, disturbing, boundary pushing. Yeah, all the things you think of, the words you use to describe it. Yes, this film, but particularly this scene, emphasizes it. But why am I bringing this up? It's because of movies like this. movies that push the, not just movie, it could be anything. It could be, comic, magazines, books, whatever. Media that pushes the boundaries, I think will be the antithesis. I will think will be the, movies that push the boundary will be the antidote to AI. Because like I said earlier, AI, it's going to become corporate, I think, where companies going to use it all over the place. And it has, and you can even see it now, these AI, they have this shine to them, like, where like, oh, it's AI, you can totally see it. So I do think the larger companies and corporations will be using that in their, everyday workforce, whatever. But in terms of filmmaking, it is films like Irreversible and, other Gasper, films that will kind of balance it out. And you also got filmmakers like, I think, Denis Villeneuve. Any filmmaker who has a vision, Denis Villeneuve, Alejandro Jodorowsky. We just recently lost David Lynch, R.I.P. to a legend. But it's filmmakers like that who don't fit into the stereotypical box of what society thinks is socially acceptable, who will push back against AI. Because you can love or hate their movies, doesn't matter. But they are real artists. They have a real vision. You may not like that vision, you may not agree with it, whatever, but it is theirs. They're going to make what they want to make, and they don't care what people think. And I think that is the way forward with this whole AI thing. Because, let's be honest, like, the people who I said earlier were, like, super excited about this AI, the AI bros I've seen in the comments of other videos. It's no secret that when you actually watch interviews with these people or just read their tweets, they are the least creative people It's like really, yeah, it kind of makes sense why they're so excited about AIArt, because they can't do anything themselves, which, you could look at it as funny and sad. It is both. It is very funny and sad that I don't know what it is. Maybe they don't want to do the work. They just don't think they're gifted enough, whatever, but they get so excited about being able to do creative things with a computer because they have no skill or talent themselves. I could be crazy, but I do think I am onto something. I've seen other people make videos about it. So it is something that is on people's minds about what is going to happen to our, I guess, arts culture, which, that could be a video in and of itself about how, society doesn't care about art. At least America. Other countries, it could be different. It seems different from the outside anyway. Maybe I'm crazy. But I just can't shake this feeling that we're heading into some uncharted territory of what is art or not. Which, if you can't tell by the rest of this video, I don't think AI art is art, because it's not. It wasn't made by a person who had a vision, who actually sat down and, drew. Whether that person created it, how they execute their vision. It could be painting, drawing, writing, except there's so many things that fall under the creativity umbrella that is creativity. And AI it doesn't fall under that. It doesn't. And I would love to know your guys' thoughts. I know everyone has opinions about this, it seems, and rightfully so. This was just like a kind of a quick video. I might make a video about this in the future with more in-depth, rehashing these topics, with more research and everything. This was just kind of an off-the-cuff thing. But, yeah, guys, we're in for some interesting times, let's just say, in terms of the creativity space. And I don't think, let's just say this. I think the quote-unquote real artists, like I mentioned, the filmmakers like Gasper, Alejandro Jodorowsky, etc., the David Lynch types, I think they're going to be fine. The people who think outside the box, they're going to be, they don't got to worry. It's the people that, that like to follow the rules, like to check off the boxes of what is acceptable. I can't do this, I have to do this. Those people, the rule followers, so to speak, those people can be the first to go. Mark my words. They're going to be the first to get axed at their company, whatever, and then they're going to turn around and be like, "Oh, what happened? I don't understand." But yeah, I mean, I would like to know your guys' thoughts. If you have any predictions like I do, or if you have different predictions, I would love to hear them. So comment below, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.